Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. The Secretary will call roll.
Commissioner Mann? Present. Commissioner Tolson? Commissioner Rice?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Kennedy?
Here.
Chairperson Chrisman?
Here. May I have a motion for approval of the agenda with the supplemental?
I move to approve the agenda with a supplement.
I'll second that.
A motion was made by Commissioner Mann with a second by Commissioner Rice. And unless there's any other objections, the agenda stands approved. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes? Oh, that's with the supplemental. I'm so sorry.
I'll do what you said. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll motion to approve the minutes with the
Supplemental.
supplemental.
And Chairperson Chrisman, there were comments on the minutes in the supplemental item referencing tonight's items that was combined with that. For your reference, we made a amendment to the minutes, and also after the minutes, we could circle back to item 4, election of officers. It's not on your script. Sorry, it's special.
Oh, yeah. A motion was made by Commissioner Mann with a second by Commissioner Rice. Unless there's any other objections, the minutes are approved. It's a special meeting when we should rotate the office. And can I have the motion to postpone the rotation of the office, the election of the new officers, right? By the next meeting when Commissioner Tolson is going to be present.
Move to postpone election of officers till the next meeting.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Rice with a second by Commissioner Kennedy. Do we have to vote on that?
Seems to be a consensus.
Yeah, I think it's just direction.
Unless there's any other objections, the motion stands approved. Do we have any continued business? Oh, we do. Oh. The secretary will read the declaration of conflict.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from the consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Are there any declarations of conflict? This is the time allotted for public statements or comments on all items other than public hearings items. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard? I have, I think, 2 speakers cards. No, 1 speaker card, and that is James McGillis.
And staff, I'm James McGillis, an 18-year resident of Simi Valley. On December 15th, 2025, the Simi Valley City Council directed city staff to produce an ordinance intended to legalize and regulate short-term rentals, or STRs. City Council sought feedback from the neighborhood councils and the Planning Commission regarding proposed changes to the municipal codes. As it is known, the project overview for short-term rental regulations was put before all neighborhood councils. In addition to the proposed changes in municipal code titles 9 and 5, the councils were asked specifically whether STRs should be allowed in this city. Since you may not have attended your neighborhood council meeting, I'm here to give you the results. During the public comments at each meeting, Simi Valley resident Anthony Eason offered to provide copies of 435 petition signatures demanding an outright ban on all short-term rentals. When put to a vote by the neighborhood councils at NC1, both the executive board and the public voted to deny proposed code changes. At NC2, both the executive board and the public voted to deny proposed code changes. At NC3, both the executive board and the public voted to deny proposed code changes. At NC4, a unanimous vote by the executive board, a strong majority of the public voted to ban all short-term rentals in Simi Valley. Soon, sweeping changes to the Simi Valley Municipal Code will be put before the Planning Commission. If approved, those changes would create a short-term rental overlay zone for the entire city. Please be aware that the residents of Simi Valley have spoken loud and clear. We, the people, want an outright ban on short-term rentals throughout the city. The Planning Commission should reflect upon the will of the people. At the appropriate time, your vote should be to deny the proposed changes to the municipal code with the expressed opinion that short-term rentals should be banned throughout this city. Thank you.
Heard. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director?
Yes, Chairperson Chrisman, as stated, we received two correspondence from Teresa Jordan regarding the minutes and tonight's item, item 12A. That's attached to your packet, and copies of the supplement are also available in the lobby.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar? It's a mobile home.
Move to approve this consent calendar.
Second.
Second.
A motion was made by Commissioner Rice with a second by Commissioner Mann. Unless there's any other objections, the consent calendar stands approved. So this is the time and place set for a continued public hearing on the correspondence of CUPS 2024-0002 and the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. Are there any ex parte communications to report? I do have an ex parte communication to report. After the last public hearing, I don't know if anybody can hear me. I went to the mobile home community because I felt strongly that the communication from the council should have been better. And I just wanted to feel how the residents felt about that, because I felt like there was a lot of miscommunication of what this hearing was about. And I did talk to the residents. I listened to their concerns. Their concerns was that they felt like they would be misplaced after the January hearing if we voted to not approve Popeyes. So that is all I have to report. May I have an oral report on this matter by staff?
Yes, good evening, Chairperson Chrisman, members of the Planning Commission. This is a continued public hearing for the proposed project at the corner of Tapo Street and Cochran. Our Associate Planner, Neil Morissette, will have tonight's staff report.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Tonight, we'll be reviewing a continued request for a conditional use permit to construct a new drive-through restaurant, which includes improvements to the adjacent mobile home park. The project was presented before the Planning Commission on November 19th, 2025, but was continued to tonight's meeting due to concerns brought up by both the public and the Planning Commission. The project site is primarily located on a 0.52 acre vacant portion of a larger site located at the corner of Cochran and Tapo Street. The site is surrounded by existing commercial development to the north, east, and south, and an existing elementary school to the west. The larger site is currently developed with a mobile home park and several structures that surround the vacant portion of the property. As a refresher, the project site is located within the boundary of the Envision Simi specific plan. When the Popeyes restaurant was submitted to the city on January 29th, 2024, it was under the Simi Valley Municipal Code requirements. Since that time, the envisioned Simi Valley specific plan was adopted on November 2024 and went into effect in January 2025. The envisioned Simi Valley specific plan changed the site's zoning to the Tapo Cadota Fig zone where drive-through uses are prohibited. While the project was still deemed incomplete at that time of implementation of the specific plan, continual progress was made by the applicant, and it was determined by the director that the municipal code standards and allowed uses would remain applicable to the project. The existing site consists of 2 legal lots, Lot 1 and Lot 2, and a 20-foot portion of Lot 160, the lot directly adjacent to the west, that was deeded to Lots 1 and 2 in 1952. The existing mobile home park resides within all 3 lots, whereas the vacant portion resides completely within the southeastern portion of Lot 1. A lot line adjustment will be required to reorganize and legalize the lot lines for the development of the drive-through restaurant. After the lot line adjustment, the site will consist of a 22,072 square foot parcel for the proposed drive-through restaurant and a 60,382 square foot parcel for the existing mobile home park. For the drive-through restaurant site, 4 existing curb cuts accessing the property will be replaced with a single entrance from Cochrane Street. The existing access from Cochrane and Tapo Street to the mobile home park site will remain. In the public hearing held on November 19th, 2025, the following concerns were raised by either the public or the Planning Commission. The proposed height of the wall separating the restaurant and mobile home park sites was too short. Since the hours the restaurant was open to the public had not been specified, the restaurant could eventually operate 24 hours a day. The hours of delivery were planned between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. The potential odors that would come from the restaurant. Overall, the concerns were that this project would negatively affect the adjacent neighbors and that they would not support it. In response to the concerns raised during the November 19th Planning Commission meeting, the applicant has agreed to the following conditions. The proposed wall between sites will be increased from 6 feet to 7 foot 4 inches. The hours opened to the public will be limited to 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. and the hours of delivery will be limited from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Additionally, the applicant has provided the following information. As documented in Exhibit 2 of the staff report, 85% of all airborne grease particles will be removed by the filtration system, limiting odors to the adjacent residents. A letter from the property owner detailing how the project will provide long-term sustainability for the mobile home park, and letters of support from all mobile home park tenants. As a reminder, to approve the project, it must meet required findings for a conditional use permit pursuant to Simi Valley Municipal Code 9-52.070. Staff has determined the proposed project meets the required findings as detailed in the resolution. Staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt a resolution approving the proposed conditional use permit and the determination that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA. This concludes staff presentation, and we are available for questions.
Thank you. Any questions of staff? We will open the public testimony portion of the hearing. Will the applicant, Susan Jones, please come up?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Susan Jones, and I'm with SJ Design Group. I'm here to present Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen for Simi Valley. I'd like to introduce the project team, which includes our firm, SJ Design Group, myself, Susan Jones, CEO and President. Ron Coaster is the civil engineer. Tom Rumbley, who is here tonight, project manager for the owner, and Anna Armstrong and Walker Landscaping Architects. Just a brief summary, Neil has done an amazing job reviewing what we've talked before. This is an existing vacant commercial corner located on Cochran and Telpo Street, about 0.3 acres. With the lot line adjustment between the mobile home park and the vacant corner parcel, it would merge into a lot of a half-acre site for a proposed development of 2,172 square foot commercial, restaurant, drive-through, and outdoor patio seating. North of this project is the existing mobile home park with 16 existing residents. This development will also provide the opportunity for the mobile home park owners to now create open and covered new parking stalls, improve trash enclosure, location and facilities, as well as a mailbox, new structure for the residents, and clean up the site as far as entrances and exits there are existing. Right now, the site sits on the corner of Cochran and Tapo, vacant. These are the views from Tapo Street and Cochran, showing the medium island on Tapo, the overhead utility lines. And on Cochran, you can clearly see the existing small commercial structure and the 8 parking stalls that front and back into Cochran, which would be part of the demolition. Also on this view, you would see how the existing residents right now, a majority of them have to park on unpaved dirt, nothing striped, very little parking lighting, and no continuity between the trash enclosure and their residents. This gives you an overall view of the existing entrances, both on Tapo, the existing 12-foot wide entrance to the north, the 32-inch wide or 32-foot wide drive-through approach at the center, which is an in and out, I believe, as well. And we have 2 entrances and exits on the vacant lot for the commercial corner being considered, and 2 drive approaches that are existing on Cochran to the vacant site, as well as 1 major site entrance off of Cochran for the mobile home park, which also is access to the small commercial facility. This would be proposing a demolition of that little small commercial building, as well as removing I believe it's actually 8 parking stalls that front Cochran and 5 stalls that are perpendicular to the existing structure, along with small shed buildings. They're just storage sheds. They're not part of, some of it are part of the mobile home park, some of it are part of the commercial buildings. The lot line merger would then adjust between the 2 parcels, and the lot line on the 20-foot to the west of the lot would have a lot line adjustment itself, and the mobile home park would sit on 1 lot, and the new commercial corner would be a half an acre lot for the Popeyes development. This is kind of an overview of the proposed development. As you can see, it cleans up for the mobile home park, giving clear, identifiable, accessible parking stalls, covered and open per code requirement, an accessible trash enclosure facility, as well as a mailbox. It also cleans up the site, removing unneeded or redundant drive approaches. It meets the requirement of the city ordinances as far as frontage, pulling the building towards the corner to give visibility to the corner. We exceed the parking stacking for the drive-through. We're at 260 feet and about 14 car stacks, as well as 17 parking stalls, which meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance for 1 parking stalls per 125 square feet of fast food. This highlights again the parking, new parking in blue for the mobile home residents. It also highlights the 17 parking stalls for the commercial. It also highlights the 260-foot drive-through stacking. It identifies the menu board and the direction in which the menu board speaker's direction is. It also shows you the distance from the menu board to the nearest mobile home. And also it shows you the difference or the distance between the exit off of the mobile home park and the new drive-in, drive-out exit for the commercial corner. We talked a little bit about smells, the documentation we did get from our mechanical engineer and the exhaust manufacturer provided documentation saying that 85% of the smells and particles are filtered through the system itself. We are about 100 feet at minimum to the nearest mobile home. There are 2 exhaust fans for this kitchen facility, and prevailing winds would always blow winds to the west or northwest. So it actually would be directing all smells and fumes away from the mobile home park. We talked a little bit about access for deliveries. They would pull in back into the drive-through aisles and pull out. Delivery times have been adjusted to 7 a.m. I forget if it was 10, so that was a typo on my end, sorry. It also shows you, we did have our sound study report kind of updated to show that the decibel points of how loud that would be. And the travel time to pull in is not making noise except for the motor, obviously, but the biggest loudness note is the backing. And that's a 5 to 15-minute duration. And that's really only happening twice a week at best. Just to review our landscaping, we do have several box trees. I wanted to kind of clarify from last time. We identified the 24-inch box trees that are being proposed and that will be planted. And we have 2 48-inch box trees at the corner of Cochrane and Tapa. Well vegetated, well landscaped, all dry-tolerant shrubberies. The overall floor plan, small dining, takeout. Much of the deliveries are, or much of the customer base is through the drive-through. I think we said something in the neighborhood of 60%. I forget that Tom will clarify, but I believe it's 60 to 65% of the customer base goes through the drive-through. The remaining come into the dining. There's only 12 dining room tables inside. A majority of the takeout orders are through the mobile app for Popeyes, as well as Grubhub and other apps, and that makes up for 8 to 10%. So they come in, they come out, and they go. Overall exterior elevations and finishes. And that is the end of my presentation. I'm here for questions.
Good evening, I'm Macy Morris. I'm the daughter of the owner of the property. I'm here today to speak on behalf of my family. We've owned and cared for Garden Grove Trailer Park since 1953. This property has been in our family for more than 7 decades, and its history spans 6 generations. My great-great-grandparents and great-grandparents lived on this land, and each generation has continued to invest their time and energy and love into maintaining it. Because of this, the trailer park is not just business to us, it is a deeply meaningful part of our family's history. Excuse me, sorry. When it was first opened, the park was operated by my great-grandparents. It was later passed to my grandparents and is now overseen by my father and my mother. Throughout that time, our family has always taken our responsibility to our residents seriously. We understand understand that their homes and their stability depend on the decisions we make, which is why we do not make major changes easily. Over the years, we have continued to reinvest into the property to ensure it remains safe and functional. In 2016, we completed a major upgrade to the park's electrical and gas systems. This was a significant financial investment, but it was an improvement we believe was necessary for the well-being of our residents. We have consistently put money back into the park, and we remain committed to making improvements as needed. The proposed project before you today is important to us because it helps us support the long-term sustainability of the park. It will allow us to continue making improvements while also helping us keep rents affordable as possible for our tenants. As a family-run community with long-standing ties to the people who live there, maintaining responsible rental rates is a priority for us. This project plays a key role in making that possible. We respectfully ask for your consideration and support. Our family has cared for this property for more than 70 years, and this project is an essential part of ensuring that we can continue serving our tenants. I'm also going to read something a tenant who was going to come tonight to speak. She had a fall. Sorry. She had a fall. And so she couldn't make it tonight, but she just wanted to also share something. So she's a resident of Space 14. Since submitting the letter to the city in support of the Popeyes proposal, she experienced a serious fall and is now unable to work. She is a California licensed caregiver and is applying for disability. Because she now has no income, it is extremely important for her to be able to remain living in the same city as her children and grandchildren in a housing that is more affordable. Approval and completion of the Popeyes proposal at the corner is critically important for her ability to remain in Simi during the transition. Do you guys have any questions? Sorry, I speak to children all day, so speaking in front of adults is intimidating. Thank you. No questions? Or do we do that? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Cindy Toth.
I'm speaking on behalf and in favor of this Popeyes going in. I've been involved in this deal since the very beginning. The benefits I see here, because I live in the area also, is they will be improving the park with extra parking spaces covered and everything else. The aesthetics is really going to be improving, much better than a dirt lot, as everybody keeps saying to me. I can see it bringing additional revenue because it looks better than just a vacant lot. Having Popeyes there for income purposes for the city, I think that's going to be a big plus for everybody involved. The tenants, and I have looked over other places for the possibility of them moving to, it's just not here in Simi. It's just not affordable. Even if we move, their mobile homes won't move. They're too old to be able to be moved. So really, this is the best place and probably the last place for them to be able to be at. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. James McGillis.
James McGillis, members of the Planning Commission, staff, and public. These are my public comments regarding the Popeyes development. I applaud the owner and the developer for addressing as many of the public and the commissioners' concerns as possible. The fact that all of the residents are aware of the changes and approve of them eliminates the public's need for concern for their overall welfare. Still, I have several concerns. Despite a letter from the developer indicating the operating hours would be restricted to 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., city staff has previously indicated that they cannot restrict hours of operation of a restaurant. Therefore, could the developer later ignore the restrictions and extend the hours of operation at will? Delivery of restaurant products and supplies would be scheduled between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. unless the supply truck arrives and departs before 10 a.m. The tractor trailer described in your November 19 meeting might block the ingress and egress to the restaurant itself, let alone safety equipment. Exhibit 6 includes site plans for existing proposed development. Page 3 of that document shows what is called an existing mobile home near the property line and the public sidewalk on Cochrane Street. In public comments at your November 19 meeting, I presented this issue, but it is not addressed in the current documents. First, that dwelling is a recreational vehicle, fifth wheel, not a mobile home. The Recreational Vehicle Industry Association defines an RV as a motorized or towable piece of equipment with living quarters for temporary, non-permanent use, like camping, travel, seasonal living. By nature, an RV is a wheeled vehicle not subject to mobile home standards or seismic safety. In an earthquake, an unanchored RV could easily roll across the main driveway and prevent first responders from entering the property. If approved, there will be new privacy walls, landscaping, and architecturally appropriate building on the site. Will the property owners and developer partner to install a code-compliant mobile home at the space in question? If not, an otherwise positive development for the city could perpetuate an existing code compliance issue. One final note, when I viewed the site from the street today, there appeared to be a semi-permanent wrought iron gate stretching across the main driveway leading to Cochrane Street. When the new building site was approved for fire safety, was that fence present, and was it considered in terms of first responder access to the mobile home park itself? Thank you.
I'm going to hold the question at the moment, I think. I do have a question, but I'm going to hold that question for a moment and come back to me, so if that's all right.
Any other commissioner? They do not wish to speak, but I can read their names. So, Mike Merrick. I might butcher this because I'm terrible in reading. Colleen Vokey, Michael Woko, Tony Royan, something, Brian Alcantar, Samantha Alcantar, and Michael Morris are all in support of the project and do not wish to speak. If anybody else would wish to speak.
And for the
Commissioner-
record, you opened the public hearing
I did, it
to
was,
accept that testimony.
oh, do you want me to open it?
The public hearing is open.
It is open,
Still open.
yeah. Any questions for the applicant? It's only
No,
you.
it's actually a question of staff, so I'm going to.
Oh,
And I just quickly, if there's no more public testimony, do we want to
Then-
close that portion before you turn it over to the commissioners?
if there's no further questions, we will close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from the member of the Planning Commission?
Yes, and I first want to ask staff a question, and then I'll move on if that's all right. So to the staff, are you familiar with the RV park over on Cooner? With the fifth wheels and the travel trailers and stuff like that? We approved that project a while ago, years ago, but one of the things with the fifth wheel trailers and travel trailers is that they had to be moved at least once a year. I don't remember the exact time frame for that. I think they could be there 51 weeks a year or something like that.
Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with the project, the ins and outs of it, not so much. Is there a follow-up question?
Here's where I'm going with it, so I'll land the plane. How's that? Basically, one of the gentlemen there just brought up a good point, which was something that Mr. Tolson brought up at our last meeting too, and that is there is a fifth wheel trailer right there on Cochrane. And Mike, what I'm wondering is if the Planning Commission could just make it consistent with the other project, that if it's not a mobile home, because obviously those mobile homes cannot be moved very easily, but fifth wheels or travel trailers, that's another story. So that I'm thinking that to make the code the same with both projects, essentially, so that, if it's a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, it does have to be moved at least once a year, so that we know that it doesn't break down on the spot or.
But I went there and I feel like there's only one fifth wheel there. I mean, I'm not an expert, so Don't quote me on that, but I think it's only on Cochrane Street where before you enter the community.
Correct.
That there's only one fifth wheel.
Correct. But that's not to say that in the future that, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just trying
I
to look
hear
ahead
you.
here to, that, because this is a common thing to park large trailers in places where you can, and I'm just thinking that it would be in the best interest of the city and code enforcement if there's a consistency there, that's all.
And if I could just suggest, as far as the projects in front of the commission right now, I'm not sure how that comment relates to this application, and maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like you might just want to make sure staff is aware that that is an issue and to look into it. But I think that's not quite related to the CUP application, if that's my kind of reading of what the application is here.
Well, the last meeting, we did talk about how the two lots were related in that sense.
They are related because they are contiguous property, but I'm
Correct.
not certain for the findings that's required for this CUP,
Mm-hmm.
how that aspect could somehow be part of the conditions or something.
But I
of
could
that
ask
nature.
the applicant to voluntarily.
I would recommend that you would just provide some direction to staff.
Okay.
Because we do want to make sure that our conditions are related to the impacts of the project that's being applied for.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission? Commissioner Mann?
No.
May I have a reading of the resolution?
Resolution number SVPC 01-26. A resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley approving a conditional use permit, CUP S 2024-0002, to construct a new 2,172 square foot drive-through restaurant on a 0.52 acre parcel and improvements to the adjacent mobile home park located at 2401 Tapo Street, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
The chair will now entertain a motion. He's looking for it.
And we'll also, the additional supplemental information that was submitted by staff on the conditions of approval are part of your motion this evening.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Chairperson Krisman, you might want to explain why it's taking us so long. It's because we have iPads now instead
Yeah.
of using paper.
Yeah, I have a copy of it, so if you.
Page
wanna
5
read
of
it.
the staff report.
It's taking us a
Yeah,
little longer.
I was just making it easier for him to read it. It's number 14.
I motion to adopt a resolution approving CUP-S-2024-0002.
A motion was made by Commissioner Mann. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Vote passes unanimously.
The appeal period for CUPS 2024-0002 is 14 calendar days. We do not have any new business or communication reports. Does staff have anything to report?
Thank you, Chairperson Christen, members of the Planning Commission. No items to report other than our next meeting coming up February 4th. That may actually be canceled, so February 18th will be after that. We'll let you know for sure in the next few days.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have anything to report?
Chairperson, if I could, I'd like to direct staff to go ahead and look into the use of a fifth-wheel trailer on a mobile home park.
Mobile Home Rent Remediation Board, does staff have anything to report?
No additional items tonight.
Tree Advisory Board, does staff have anything to report?
No additional items.
So before we adjourn our meeting, I would like to take a brief moment to acknowledge the recent loss of Stephanie Tolson, our Commissioner Tolson's wife. Our thoughts are with him and his family. And I would like to please ask you guys to join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. This concludes the meeting of January 21st, 2026. The next scheduled meeting will be maybe February 18th, 19th, 4th. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.